Safeguard, Logitech G, and ESEA.
Hello everyone and welcome to the ESL Pro League Season 7 of the Asia Pacific region, and we have some more amazing Counter-Strike action tonight. And once again, it's being brought by the unique duo, my lover.
That's the word you use to describe people.
I think every single duo is unique.
Well, you would hope so.
It's just one of the, now thinking about it, it's probably one of the least useful descriptions that we can actually have. But we do have a lot of good matches coming up as opposed towards our introduction. So first up, MVP up against Flash Gaming.
That should be a great series. I mean, you know, MVP, I would say top 2 teams in Asia on my list. And then Flash Gaming, always sort of under there, but they've made a couple of roster changes back and forth. So who knows? New iteration, could it be greater than ever before?
Who knows? We have to take a look. Obviously, this is match day number 2 of the Chinese region, and now we're starting to get to the pointy end where these teams are going to be looking to try to take this one out. I think that pushes them. I'm not certain if that guarantees them an APAC final spot or if it pushes them one step closer. Regardless, I mean, it is one more strong opponent being knocked down, which means that you don't have to worry about the, you do have an extra life later on as well. So you don't, this is the upper bracket at the moment, not the lower bracket. We'll probably see in a moment. Flash Gaming MVP first up tonight, then the Mongols versus Firepower. That is going to be an absolute cracker as well. Mongols obviously rebuilding their lineup in Firepower. Been a little bit out of action recently, but looking to see what they still have with their core 5.
Yeah, it should be another interesting game. It's always the, ex-Mongols players versus the Mongols players, so that always makes for an interesting time. But I'd imagine that, the Mongols players who are now on Firepower probably don't have anything too much, considering, Machine Gun's gone to another team. It's not really the same Mongols that we used to see.
Okay, that's what I thought. Whoever wins tonight actually qualifies for the APAC final, which is definitely something they want to be doing. 3 spots available for the Chinese region out of the 8 teams, but no one is out just yet. Even though our losers last night, they're down in the lower bracket. They have only 1 life left, and only one of them will make it out. But out of these 4 teams, only 2 for tonight, and well, out of Flash and MVP, you got to be feeling like Flash Gaming may just have the advantage depending on which MVP turns up. I mean, if MVP.PK, the Inferno version of them turn up, this may be a very quick 2-0 for Flash Gaming. I just got a feeling that you can't afford to get up ahead 13-3 against very similar kind of tier opposition and then lose the game.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean, MVP.PK, their maps pool's been, expanding and expanding. And, back when we watched them in Zen League ages ago, we would have only thought, like, Inferno was the main map that they could play. But moving forward, they've definitely worked on their Nuke, their Mirage. They've got a lot wider of a map pool, even to the point where their Inferno somehow got weaker than it used to be. I mean, with the roster changes probably affected that.
No, we'll have to see as well. Maybe Eclipse are quite strong in Inferno, and we'll just have to, these teams actually, they're playing out for a very prestigious spot, getting their way into the APAC finals, and the top 2 of the APAC finals out of the 8 teams they'll qualify from the Chinese, from the Southeast Asia, and from the Oceanic region, or Australia, New Zealand region. The top 2 will make their way over to Dallas, and you too can go over to Dallas and check out some awesome Counter-Strike action. Make sure you get your tickets early now. The later you let it bleed, the more it's actually going to bleed out of your wallet. So you're not going to be over there at that time. I know you're going to America soon, but not during May.
No, I'm not going to America. I just came back from America a while ago.
Where are you going?
Going to Asia, mate.
You're going to Asia. All right. Are you kind of wishing that you're going to Dallas instead?
Maybe a little.
Just a little. Only a titch bit. Who would you try to get an autograph from if there was any other player?
Probably Karath.
Karath? Oh,
yeah.
You don't have to go to Dallas to get that. I'm talking about a team that will go to Dallas most likely at the stage.
Man, I just think that's pretty corny myself, so I probably wouldn't ask for an autograph. Maybe ask for some Counter-Strike words of wisdom. What's your res? What's your sensitivity? Can you give me a config? You got it on USB with you?
And maybe ask what skin they have as well, so you can buy it from GameFlip as well, potentially.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yep, do make sure you check out GameFlip as well. $10,000 giveaway over multiple prizes. I took a look yesterday and I'm like, man, you too can also own a Dragon Lore, so you can be the envy of all your friends. I mean, I wish I owned a Dragon Lore, if only just to suck at AWPing.
I mean, yeah.
We won't have to talk about the sucking AWPing part. I'll just be like, Worth, I've got a Dragon Lore, you don't, so it doesn't matter if I can't AWP, I've got the money. So maybe that's probably the worst kind of Counter-Strike logic, but I have the cool-looking skin.
I mean, usually pretty stingy about money inside Counter-Strike, let alone outside of Counter-Strike, so I don't see you with the flashy skins myself. I reckon you'd pawn that one off pretty quickly.
Nah. Actually, I actually like keeping some good-looking skins. Like,
Okay.
I'm not a really flashy person. Like, say, for example, you know, you got some people out there looking for a $100 skin for their A4, you know,
Yeah.
$100 for an AK-47. I'm a pretty simple kind of guy. I'm like, man, you know, this, I think I've got the A4 Dragon King at the moment, so I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not the cheapest, obviously, but it looks good enough for me. I'm pretty happy. I'm kind of like that mid-range guy. That's why the Dragon Lord will be like, whoa, that's really amazing.
Better
I
have
don't
a
know if
good
I can-
Mag 7 skin. That's all I'm saying to you, Kevin.
I don't think there's too many great ones. I
Oh,
remember,
I have
I
a
think,
great one.
I think the Flame Guard, I think that variant, Heaven Guard, I think
Heaven's
is
Guard, yeah.
really awesome. I wanted to get that one, but oh well, not enough. But let's take. I mean, before we take a look at the Betway odds, Pilly. I was about to
As we take a look at the Betway
I was
odds.
about to ask, before we see the Betway odds, what would you be giving it to? And it looks like Flash Gaming having the advantage over MVP.
I would definitely put it MVP, clear advantage, Flash Gaming. I would probably put it like 1 MVP, maybe like 2.53 to Flash Gaming. I reckon MVP takes this one pretty comfortably.
You're pretty confident with MVP?
I'm really confident. If I was a betting man, I'd throw it straight on MVP.
I'm actually completely opposite. I think Flash Gaming have more experience in terms of global offensive playing against these top-tier opponents. I can't remember last time when these guys would have faced off, if they were in the same group over at the major qualifiers.
Not sure.
Honestly, like for the minor qualifiers, I honestly can't remember. But it just feels like to me Flash Gaming have the better firepower, have the better structure, and they're just more consistent. Like, the problem with MVP that I have is that obviously with so many tenured names and whatnot, you can't doubt them in terms of experience, in terms of solo plays, no pun intended, in terms of just all these things. But the problem they're missing so much is consistency, where it's like, in a game where everyone's desperately trying to find some, if your team is lacking that to the state where you're oscillating between these guys are the best in Asia to, my goodness, these guys just lost a 13-3 lead on Inferno, doing the same thing and not adapting. It's a really bizarre thing sometimes.
I don't know. I've got faith in my boys at MVP. Like,
got
they've
faith?
recently been overseas and stuff like that. We've been seeing, you know, where previously it might have just been Zion going absolutely massive and like hard carrying them and still barely losing to Tai Lu. That was a fun experience. Whereas lately it's actually been more Zeph stepping it up and even Glow and Solo a little bit. So it's been a bit more of a consistency across the board. The only person who I've seen really lacking a little bit lately in terms of form is HSK. But, you know, the others have definitely been, you know, going strong.
But like that's the thing, right? I love this MVP.PK lineup ever since. I mean, we always refer to the Zen League, but I think that's like when they first broke out, really, in terms of our eyes, right? In the entire APAC region. In the entire APAC region, you know, they came down here. We didn't know what to expect. You know, we knew these guys 1.6 legends. They played pretty well in the online season. Let's see what they got. And wow, these guys were insanely good. You know, they came second in the first season, and we were like going, man, if this is like their first foray into global offensive and actually trialing, we're scared, right? Korean overlords, all these, you know, Korean esports memes incoming. But then second season, they bombed out completely. It almost looked like they weren't there. They were completely broken in spirit. And that was only a few months, I think, after either before or after the minor, which is just, to me, it was like baffling, right? Their condition just oscillates so much. I really want to see consistency. And coming into Inferno, a map where we didn't see, we saw consistency from them yesterday. They did the same thing a lot of the time, and they got punished for it. So I hope they can adapt this time tonight. I mean, may sound like I'm hating a little bit on MVP.PK, but I think the results say all that needs to be said. You're up 13-3 on your CT side, and you lose the game. Oh, they didn't lose the series, thank goodness. But it could have been a thing where it could have blown out, where all of a sudden a better team that has the confidence behind them, then they're stronger at the third map, would have knocked MVP.PK down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, and we'll see. Looks like we're going to have a quick restart. We're going into the pistol there, and I was getting myself hyped up and confident, ready. But unfortunately, you know, we get the restarts sometimes coming out. Oh, excited for this game. I love my boys at PK. You're just a hater, Kev.
I'm not a hater, man. Like, how can you hate... Like, if you hate these guys, it's like you must hate Counter-Strike as a core. Like, I don't hate these guys. It's just more of, I've seen what these guys can do.
You know what?
These guys on a good day, like they're like that missile, right? They just precision targeting. Any one of these guys can clutch. They'll blow their opponents out of the water.
Oh, the good old missile. Fire it up mid, and you should be right to pick an alpha. You know, why don't they ever do that?
But it's like...
Has that got enough penetration, that missile, Kev?
I don't think it does, unfortunately. I don't think we can pull that out of the closets of Inferno and use it against the CTs. But, like, that's the thing, right? I love this MVP side.
I love this MVP side, but you know what? I don't think this Korean Overlords meme fits whatsoever with the Counter-Strike scene, because I always feel like all the games that Koreans come out and be so dominant at, you know, you look at your League of Legends, your Overwatch, your StarCraft, it's all fueled from insane practice and work ethic with the entire scene as a whole. You never see, you know, just a couple of guys grinding it out in the smaller regions and, you know, becoming some of the best in the world. It literally never happens. So I feel like that's the problem with the Korean Counter-Strike and this PK roster. You know, you can have 5 dedicated guys, but if you haven't got the competition in your region that's good enough, you're not going to be able to, you know, become a high tier enough opponent unless you keep getting those international opportunities, in my opinion.
But arguably, these guys, MVP.PK, they've been starting to get more international opportunities.
Yeah,
like, if we compare from a year ago, right, where we barely knew anything about it, like, legitimately, it has been a year since these guys have come out. Yeah. And it's like a year ago, all right, these guys are legends, man. These guys are living legends of 1.6. I don't think that can be understated anymore. Like, if Sniper met them in person and these guys actually talked to Sniper, Sniper would die of happiness that day. Like that, I think any of us talking to these guys, and if they responded, we'd die of happiness. They're like, all the way up there.
I've sat next to them watching games at Zen League, so, you know.
But do they talk to you?
I talked to their manager. They're all sitting in their own little group. That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't talk
I said if they came up and they talked with you.
Oh, if they came up specifically.
If they came up and specifically talked to you, right? And they were like, "Oh, Pillar, yeah, we've seen you
They'd probably
cast."
come up and I'd be like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and they're like, "Where's the bathroom?" And I'd be like, "Over there."
That's what I mean, right? That's the caliber. We've seen how great these guys are, but it's just so in between sometimes. Like, one game they'll turn up and it's like, man, this is Project Career at its finest. And then the next game, it's like, where are they? Where do they go? Like, what's going on? How can such a well-structured team where everyone's hitting their shots, you know, no one's relying on carrying, just all of a sudden just fall apart and just get demolished by an opposition who, by all rights, should be an inferior team. And inferior by in the sense it's like, PK have more experience, they're outclassing, they're out-aiming, but they fall apart, they lose, and you go, hang on a moment, that's not meant to happen.
It is not.
I mean, we've been focusing a lot on PK, obviously, but Flash Gaming, a little bit to talk about them as well. Still the same core from what I've seen since a while ago.
Still got Kaze, don't they?
Still, I don't think they do anymore.
No.
Unless he's re-aliased.
It's Attacker, Summer,
Aeon, Omen, and... Oh, I can't remember the 5th one.
I know Ormond from Vici. I haven't seen Aeon play. I've seen Attacker and Summer, obviously tons from back in the Tyloo days and moving into these, you know, more recent Flash rosters. Obviously, you can't be a fan of Chinese Counter-Strike and not be a fan of Attacker and Summer, some of the biggest names in Chinese CS.
Absolutely. And these
some of the most impact players. I remember talking to PZ Kid about playing Attacker in Pugs, and he said it was like he was cheating. He's just literally two-pulling me across the map and running down mid, no respecting, and you feel like you can't do anything against it.
Yeah, for those who don't know PZ Kid, a pretty top-tier player from
Malaysia.
Oceanic Counter-Strike, but also obviously playing in Malaysia as well. We saw him in Zen League Season 1. We saw a lot more of him in Australia, but I feel like that's probably because that's where the Australian bias is coming in a little bit of. But it looks like we're finally into the action. Bit of a delay.
6 seconds. Get hyped, boys. All right.
Let's go.
HSK, nade kit, solo with the full utility set, possibly holding it for maybe to delay a B attack. Maybe he's got something particular in mind. Going to take some map control in the pistol round. Flash, it's not a B rush, just spreading out with 5 sets of armor, getting some information, seeing what MVP is going to throw at them.
Yeah, and on the side of MVP, they need to be cautious. I mean, I saw a little bit of the CT side yesterday. It was very... They consistently did the same things which you'll punish for, and if Flash Gaming did a little bit of demo reviews, could be a little bit of a disaster. That said, though, MVP could have also taken a look and gone, all right, we didn't play that really well as well. We can definitely improve on it. And there we are, the first kill actually going in the favor of MVP, but Solo is now taking a lot of damage. Glow's going to be dinked out, going to be taken out as well. And all of a sudden, they're able to nearly collapse on this A-bomb site. There it is, the final pick, but the bomb's been lost in the middle of the open because there are just kills going back in the favor of MVP.PK. Now the bomb being left in the open, they've somehow brought it back into a 2-on-1 after losing the first few numbers. And they take the pistol.
Yeah, bit of an interesting round, a bit back and forth. Steph coming in with the massive 3K, and, you know, just like I was highlighting before, I mean, he, in international competition lately, has been the huge heavy lifter for PK. I feel like every time I saw them playing a game overseas, it was him near the top of the stats.
I also say, like, with HSK, in terms of him being the newest member of this lineup, I'm hoping that he's able to find himself a little bit more consistent form. I mean, it's good to see that they're still keeping him in his lineup. He is an insane AWPer when he's on. But it goes back once again to the entire consistency thing. You can be an insane AWPer, but if you only turn up in one game out of how many, it's just not good enough. You won't have the impact to take the game for your team.
HSK, he only gets kills when he's saving or hitting some ridiculous clutch or, you know, ridiculous stuff that we see from him quite often. Going to be a forced buy on the side of Flash Gaming. They're just taking some apartments control, waiting out any utilities that PK might throw any pushes, but PK just going to be playing it pretty stock standard, pretty safe. Relying on that rifle of Zeph to hold off the B-bomb side as much as they can, while Flash just work with the pistol pick, seeing if anybody gets a little bit antsy, tries to go for some info or a bit of aggression, and couple quick headshots and they can turn it into their favor.
This is really scary. They can hear one's eagle, but they don't have a good read what's going on. After the early apartments pressure, you can see that the Ts have just pushed the CTs off, falling out of top bracket, and now they're just slowly making a contact play at B site. The smoke may come in a little bit too late because the Deagle finds one, and the CT at first Oranges only able to trade out one more. Can he get the second? Needs to desperately find more, but he can't because he's going to be overwhelmed by too many targets. And Flash Gaming, just on the back of a very, very simple contact play, have managed to make their way on the B-bomb site and get the bomb plant down. Now, winning it is going to be a completely different scenario. You've got Attacker with the M4 at connector, inside construction, sorry, though. Actually, it's going to be Aeon with the Deagle, who finds another kill. Attacker's managed to make his way to the back of bomb site with the M4, but the Ts don't have a great crossfire going, and now they're going lower and lower in HP, but Attacker's finally struck, and now dueling it out. They know where Nabaluan is. Not exactly certain who that is.
Don's got the kit, though, and he's hopefully going to be able to retain the rifle.
He just has enough time to get the defuse, so... Yeah, really a little bit of a scrappy round coming out there where it was just them able to stroll into the bomb site and just get the picks, really. But that was just down to them pushing off, and MVP playing pretty defensive so far, giving a lot of respect to the pistols, and rightfully so. We saw how dangerous the pistols were. Yeah,
they definitely can be. I feel like that was just a case of sort of timing. Zeph was shouldering for some info. He drops the smoke a little bit too late, and suddenly he's got a guy with a Deeg in his face while his teammate's holding a counter flash for the aggression. And that's just how it happens sometimes, but PK still able to recover the round. I don't know, you can kind of take, this is what I was about to say, you can take two approaches against the pistols. You either give them a lot of respect and use your utility to sort of make sure that you don't suffer too many losses, or you treat it like a gun round and you just go in all guns blazing and you eliminate the enemies before they can create too many opportunities with those Deegs or pistols or whatever. We've got Nabaluan, I'm going to call him Nab. He's grabbed himself an M4A4, but he's the only player without armor, so possibly should probably pass that off to one of his teammates who's better to not get aim punched.
Yeah, we'll see how it has to go, but Summer is just going to be taken down by Solo, who loves that wall position. It feels like that's vintage Solo. Like, he gets boosted or jumps up there. He locks down the Nana position. He's been so good at doing this. And what is that timing shot? Disgusting Solo, as he's able to get another kill back in MVP. So they lose an M4 very early on the mid-aggression, but they brought it back. They've definitely stalled now Flash's aggression, who, the back of just a contact play, able to get one more kill.
Zion on the side here. Best of it. Got himself two, and Glow comes around for the third, not losing that rifle. And Glow's even going to upgrade his MP9 to an A4. So, you know what? Not too bad of losses in the second round, at least, for PK. Their economy is going to be a little bit shakier because of that last round where they did lose 4, and it was only Zion to sort of close it out. But Flash, pretty decent start for them, considering they're down 3-0. They've gotten themselves plenty of kills, and now, because of that, You know, plenty of utilities. They've had plenty of opportunities. You know, you look at their buy right now and you might say, look, it's not the best buy I've ever seen. But the truth is that, like, you know, they've pretty much like been buying CZ armor in that second round and whatnot. So, I mean, off the back of that, the fact that they can afford that much utility is a pretty good sign.
Absolutely, considering that, like you said, they had armor on some of their players in the third round. Normally, you don't see that. You maybe see a few pistols.
Yeah,
you know that
usually
you're going to be
full
good.
save.
Yeah, but they have a good set of utility on the back of this.
No
Only Summer that's missing. Probably another flashbang on the Molotov you want. Only a single molly, which is going to make it difficult taking his map control. That's the single Molotov gone. Just your default 9-on-1.
Yep.
So they're going to have no Molotovs to clear out any of these sneaky positions that the CGs like playing. So something like Pit, we saw Zion there yesterday, just locking it down. And the Nana aggression happening again.
I like this from PK. They smoked the bottom of Nana, just weighed out that Molotov, and then they triple nade the tree.
You know why I don't like this? Because they did this about 5 or 6 times yesterday.
Yeah.
And that is a problem because, once again, Flash Gaming, you'd expect them to do a little bit of review and figure out what's going on. So it's like if you do the same thing, they might be able to find a counter to this. And the counter that Eclipse threw was that they popped the flash through and they 3-man pushed through the flashbang and found the perfect timing every single time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Flash Gaming can do the same. They've already lost a member in this one. But if MVP become too predictable, then that's when the problems will start beginning again.
I mean, look, you know, you might say that it's, you know, it could be a problem if they're doing the same things all the time, but maybe that's given themselves an opportunity to actually work on how they play it. Zeph playing a little bit safer, not getting caught out by that flashbang you were speaking of. And he's going to be able to drop the smoke, and with the timer running down a lot, you know, that's not good signs for Flash. They're in a 5 versus 4. They haven't been able to even it up. They haven't been able to take any map control to speak of except for top brackets, which Glow is going to instantly punish them for and fall back. Now they're all split up. One coming through the apartments, 20 seconds to go. They're going to be running out choke points against HSK and Zion, who's hiding in Graveyard. It's not good signs for the boys at Flash.
Yeah, and Zion, oh, so the smoke will actually block off as attackers trying to go down, but Zion, he's just been so sharp with the A4. He just instantly gets a spray down at 2, and he's looking for the third one as well. Attacker will eventually be taken out by HSK, but that's clean from MVP, just holding and just getting all the shots and picking up a very clean buy round, not losing a single gun. That needs to be emphasized again. Flash Gaming had all AKs. They had a decent set of utility. It wasn't almost a giveaway. But the aim, the crossfire is looking good.
I have to agree with you, and I mean, just watching Flash play so far, it's been pretty much the same thing every round, you know, just sort of spread out, see what happens, communicate what's happening, and then try to walk into some picks or something like that. And now we're going to see a bit faster of a round out from them, but I really hope that they've got a little bit more in the sort of game plan area than just split and pick, and hope for the best.
Yeah, so HSK taking a bit of damage. I think it might have been tagged through the smoke one. So he's going to drop the Molotov at Boiler and just bail it out of there. But there's a lot of presence being shown at Diggity from both sides. And where's the flashbang from Flash Gaming? There isn't any. They're just going to make a dry contact play. No one's spotted the tap just yet. Glow just playing around the squad position. He's pretty safe at the moment because he's got teammates. There's another flashbang. That's a perfect flashbang, as a matter of fact, because Aeon's just blinded out. They're still trying to wrap around. No one has been watching this the motor side. So 2 CZ kills. Actually, someone managed to go into the CT and get a kill. Alman is still dancing around and somehow picks one up on HSK. So this has now gone really messy. Down to a 1-on-2, losing a lot of these rifles when it felt like the MVP actually had a better position.
Yeah, Allman, 9 HP. He's picked himself up an AK, but he's going to have to pick up the bomb, and it's Glow in the perfect position. Low HP, catches him off, and just lands the first bullet. Glow having quite a good game for himself, as well as Zion. And the Flash, yet to get anything really going. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more depth from their T side this round. Maybe have something in mind, a little bit of a game plan. Because so far watching this game, it feels like MVPs, they're here to win. They're here to crush their opponents. They're here to take map control and take as many gunfights and kills as they want to. And Flash, they look like, you know, we're here. We're walking around the map, you know, just taking our time.
Well, the thing is, Flash Gaming do have 4 Molotovs this time, which may mean the difference, or just a little bit of difference. And Zeph is looking to try to get that nade into Nana once again. So both sides posturing around a very important position on the map.
Yeah, lots of Molotovs expended at the top of Banana, just like you say. And flashbang over the top. MVP not going to fight for this one. They're going to relinquish the Nana control. But how much utility was that from Flash used just to take that top of banana control? Now they're only reduced to a couple of smokes, and in particular, very few flashbangs left, as well as very few Molotovs to maybe use on that new box position or wherever they prefer. Now Nana control is obtained, they're going to work their way back towards mid, and they already did take Apps control fairly early into the round, so they're going to make sure they keep maintaining that. I like that mid-round push at about the minute mark from Zyne. It's the kind of thing that you can do when you're trying to, you know, gauge whether the enemy team's keeping Apps control, which may indicate that they're going to go for brackets or go for an A split, or whether they've actually instantly jumped out and try to go for a quick B execute towards Nana.
There's already one member being posted in quad right now. That's going to be Aeon, who's been left under the porch, looking into the pit position. Only 2 CTs here, but this is up to Zyne to make the play right now, as the CT has identified one in Nana, but no more. And oh no, their Glow is actually going to find one. He's able to back out alive, and look who's coming in from behind right now. It's going to be Zyne who's going to find 2, and he won't be able to find the 3rd because Attacker's all the way at jungle. He's managed to push his way close to Moto, but the bomb is out of his control. Zyne just once again with a mid-game push. This guy's insane.
Just outpositioned, outsmarted. They had no chance in any point in that round, and it's all just down to Zyne's positioning. Attacker's going for the bomb plant. Zyne's just going to put him down, and I don't know, you're backing your boys Flash, and I'm feeling this is a pretty easy one for MVP so far.
I was backing them, but so far they don't seem to be landing their shots, and MVP.PK taking advantage of every single opportunity they've had so far, and they're looking good. 6-0.
And Nab going for the pretty early buy there, despite his teammates being pretty broke. Not sure if I would agree with that. Be a little bit grumpy at him if I was his in-game leader. Oh man, I can't like remember seeing a game where Attacker and Summer have looked like such passive players with such a lack of confidence. Usually they're just running out, ripping their heads off, and that's what I remember watching his Flash gaming lineups, even after, you know, changing a couple players after the major qualifier. You know, you had your Kazes or you had your Attackers going out, dropping 20s and going huge. Occasionally you'd see Fancy Summer do it. But, I mean, so far in this game, haven't seen them come alive whatsoever.
Yeah, just playing, once again, as you said, so passive, so default orientated, and Glow is just having so much fun right now. He's just taking the aim deals one by one. He's not even scared. No. And that's the hallmark, right? When he's like still killing, it's like, oh, well, I finally go down, but I've got 3 kills here. It's just kind of like, why do you need to be scared?
It's coming out of someone like Glow. I mean, earlier in the PK lineup, you would have seen him as more of an entry or a supportive player. It almost seemed like he struggled to get, you know, a lot of frags, you know, earlier towards PK's lineup. But now, I mean, especially now they've gone overseas, I feel like Zeph and Glow have really come into their own. They've just been steadily on the improve, and it's adding so much more depth and firepower to this PK roster, which before, you know, you would have to see them do such in-depth tactics to sort of get themselves footholds in rounds. Now, you know, their in-depth tactic is 20 bullets from Glow's M4. See you three-fifths of your team.
HSK just playing safe, just playing around with Zyne in pit and MVP. 7-0 so far. Red hot start.
This is where I'll call a pause as Flash and have a good think about life, but they're going to continue as is.
Yeah, hopefully Nav's only going to have a UMP as well, so that's not... it is firepower, but probably not the firepower you want to be having down 0-7.
No, but depends how you use it. It's not about the cost of the gun, it's how you use it.
Yeah, but if I told you, would you prefer an AK or UMP? What are you going to pick?
Depends on the money that I have, Kevin.
You have...
I have to review my money.
I don't know.
Out comes the bottom Nana smoke again. And Nab just going to exchange some utility. Doesn't really do anything to solo though. And just look at the economy on MVP. How many gun rounds are they going to have to lose to throw that lead away? Solo's got 11 grand.
And once again, like MVP have managed to take this Nana control off Flash Gaming just very, very quickly. They're straight down.
I'll tell you what though, Flash have been great about taking this apps control off of MVP. They haven't used it for anything yet though. Nab's just going to run up by himself with the UMP. Can't say I'm really a fan of any of these players from Flash.
There was a flashbang to try to get him in, but just not enough.
If you're going to retake Nana off of them at that point in the round, you need to commit like most of your roster to doing it. you can't just send one guy in with a UMP and another guy sort of later after. It needs to be literally like one guy flashing 3 rifling players in, because you're running through a smoke, boys. Like, you got to check multiple angles. They can be in 4 or 5 different spots, and there can be 2 players there while you're running through a smoke. You might not even get both of them blind. Like, you need one guy to tank the hail of bullets that you're running into, and you need one guy to trade and one guy to trade the other guy as well.
What is that spot coming out from Zion at the moment? He's just borrowing the feet of Aeon, who's... Well, Zeph's just been at log the entire round. The bomb's still at middle. Like, the Flash was splitting up with 20 seconds left. And I think that's kind of the story at the moment. They're splitting up. They're not really on the same page. And MVP.PK, it's a completely different story from what we saw in Inferno compared to last night. This is like... And this may be just down to that Nana control once again. Flash Gaming, the difference was Eclipse last night. They were able to take Nana control every single time. This aggression would never work for MVP.PK, but against this. So
I mean, you want to try and take that map control against Machine God. You got another thing coming. Maybe against
yeah, true. Machine God was just like flash through, headshot God, and he just rolls forward. And Flash Gaming so far, no one on the side normally expects, like, all these guys are really good players, but so far just looking very, very cold at the moment. Probably just not feeling it at this particular point in time.
Another
but eventually
buy straight out of Aeon as well, with 2 of the players on 3.4. It's a bit rough. I guess, I mean, they feel like they have to get rounds at this point.
Yeah, it's like you're going to have to start forcing at the stage. You can't just go, all right, we're going to eco here. We'll try to do some damage, guys, and we'll try to do some damage to the CT economy. Look how much money there is. There's 38k on the side of the CT side. There's barely anything on the T side. We've seen games that have been very close before where it's like, you know, 8-0, but the Ts are doing a lot of damage. It doesn't feel like that. The Ts on their buy rounds are getting bullied out. They've looked closer on the pistol rounds they have in the buy rounds. And Solo is really fast up Nana on the back of that run boost. He's just going to get there so aggressively. Look at that, straight into Nana. He just knows that Flash Gaming aren't going to be dealing with it.
He doesn't even care if anyone peeks him, mate.
Because he knows, like, that's how confident he is right now. He's just going to... I was like, oh, surely Solo's not going to walk through this. But he's walked through it. The madman, he's going to find one. But Aeon, that's a good snap around. HSK caught in no man's land. Zeph, only a 1-for-1 trade.
Okay.
This force bomb actually working out quite well so far. But the flashbang, how does Aeon hit that? Ridiculous. He's got the bomb, though. Knows where the last CT is. Down to a 1-on-1. But Aeon's on 8 HP, sorry.
Good luck, mate. 8 HP versus Zion.
Who's got an HE?
You really got to use your grenades here, mate. Like, you have to throw down that smoke. You can't be planting there. Oh, no.
See ya. Doesn't matter. You drop your smoke. See ya, mate.
You got to drop it in CT or something, Kev.
Yeah, and Zion's just going to run back for the AWP because he's got so much time. It's like you could probably afford it at this stage than not, but hey, every single little thing, man.
Oh, so Nabalian's got to be Lovey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Does Zion have enough? Yeah, he should. I was like a little bit scared because he had to run all the way back to jungle to get that. And it's like... I was a little bit scared there wasn't time, but there was plenty of time. Zion knowing the rotation time probably better than I do. Down to the second. So Flash Gaming, once again, it's a force buy that comes close because they're actually pushing with aggression. They're pushing with each other. They're trading and punishing MVP for playing maybe a little bit too over cocky. But at the stage, you know, when Zion's just 15 kills and 2 deaths, when Glow is currently at 12 kills, like, why wouldn't you be playing confidently? It's like, hey, Flash Gaming, more like easy gaming at the moment. That's what you'd probably be saying as Project Korea, because like, imagine if you're playing this, right? This is a match to qualify to the 8-pack Pro League finals, and you're up 9-0 in the first map. Would you not be saying this is probably a little bit too easy? You were expecting more of a pushover, or not? Sorry, more of a pushover, but more of a tightly contested match.
I mean, I feel like PK is the kind of team that is probably still taking this seriously. Like, as soon as somebody on PK says this is easy or whatever, I reckon Solo or someone is just like, shut up, focus.
That's just down to yeah, that's just down to, like, you know, 10 years of experience where they just go, all right, time to focus up. And Solo's just posted on this angle. Surely they're not expecting this. They're all playing the anti-flash. But Solo's just going to peek in here. He doesn't know there's one right next to him behind the car. Oh, no, he's going to be spotted out eventually, though. Does not check that corner tightly enough. This might be the opportunity. Flash Gaming are lined up on the bomb site. Zeph's going to come close to first oranges to deal it out. But he wins the first aim deal. Zion at the same time, also taking out one more member. But the rest of these CTs are all on the A-bomb site. And it looks like Lovey, or our old mate Nab, going to be coming very, very close. Nana just switching around the AWP to Zion.
Coming out.
There's a what, sorry?
Bogdan. You probably don't. You always swap the orb to the low health player, Kev. Rule of Bogdan.
Rule of Bogdan maybe, but Lovey may have just been spotted out. I think they know where he is. There's a flashbang, but it goes too deep. Ooh. And HSK is going to be taken out, but Lovey just overpeaking just by a little bit. And I think they may have spotted the transition, but Attacker, this is his time to shine, but he can't land the spray transfer. Just caught between two targets. Can't figure out which one he wants to be hitting first, and as a result, none of them going down. And MVP,
every
10-0.
That gets close, it's MVP making a mistake, getting caught out of position, and they still win.
Gazine, dude, 18 kills in 10 rounds.
He didn't even look like he stopped. He's just run across it, Lovey's screen, and blown him out of the water.
Dude, Zion is ridiculous. Like, we've been talking about all these other guys. Like, we've been praising a lot of these guys in Flash Gaming for their, Summer and Fancy.
I'm out of praises for Zion. I don't have any left, Kev.
I don't think we need to praise him at the moment. His score is doing all the talking at the moment. It's like, you guys can praise me for all you want or, trash talk me. I'm 18 kills and 2 deaths in this game against Flash Gaming, and I think that speaks volumes.
You're getting 10-0'd with 3/5 of a lineup that was at the major qualifier a while ago. Like, what's happening, boys? Come on. Your top caliber players in Asia. That's more what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Orman finally landing and punishing Zion for just playing that apps position. I feel like every single time Zion takes so much damage from that position, and he still lives and gets a few more kills in HSK, he is going to get tagged down a little bit.
Look at Glow, though. He's fearless. He will not give up Porch. He's surrounded in apps. He could have people running up mid at him. Doesn't care.
Look, to play confident, you've got to be confident.
Def also backing him up. Out comes the Boiler Molly at the perfect time. And Aeon's just running around in apps. You can't be doing that. Glow can hear everything. He's expecting him to fall back side or pit or whatever already. Bomb's still T-stairs, though, and they've got 2 people at Nana, so...
Who's going back for the bomb? Okay, it looks like Orman's going back for the bomb, and Solo just going to be dropping the smoke immediately. He's still going to be trying to play around this. I think he's got a little bit. He can spot just the teeny bits. He's going to bounce it off the car, but it's maybe just a little bit too late. He's going to get taken out, and Zeph has to find so many targets. Won't be able to do so. So MVP missing the timing by a little bit. And I think this surely should be Flash Gaming's round. Zion's not in this. Glow's in it, and HSK, sure. But look how passive they're playing at the moment. Just looking for any picks that they can. Finally around from the T side. It's been a long time coming.
And, it all just comes off the back of, was it Orman or I think it was Orman in apps, just getting that headshot on Zion, taking him out of the round super early. And then they just slowed it down. They, tried to get some information of what PK was doing. They saw that Glow was, up close middle. They had Zeph supporting. The amount of rotation smokes that came in on that top mid position, they can kind of, discern from that there's probably quite a few people on A. And they go back for the B hit. Sholo with a nade in his hand. Come on, 30 seconds to go. He's trying to get some extra HE damage. 100% efficiency.
I would have just dropped it. I think Solo is expecting a few more flashbangs and the smokes to come over. He's like, all right, I haven't come over yet, so I'm going to drop one at car. They're most likely staging for an execute. But Flash Gaming just coming out very, very quick. Only the single smoke grenade. Before that blooms, they're just pushing straight through it. And that's what you need to be doing, I feel like, to catch MVP.PK off guard. They're just going, all right, we're going to drop the smoke grenade, and you're going to respect it. And we saw yesterday, they got punished because teams weren't, I shouldn't say respect the smoke grenade, but they were just going, it's okay, you're throwing a smoke grenade, that's all right, we can flash and push through it, and we know we can aim better than you. Zion's already down to 27 HP. But look at this. The confidence on him right now as he's looking to continue the duel. Orman's going to be caught off this time. So as soon as Flash came and trying to make a bit of an adaptation, and Aeon pushing and taking a lot of damage. How does Zion get another kill from that position? And Zeph at the same time gets 2 kills. Attacker's just going to get a smoke grenade bounced off his head. They know he's going to be close, and Zeph's there with 3 kills. At the same time, the apartment's action was all breaking down. And MVP, just as Flash Gaming get 1 round, MVP go, that's all right, we'll just take a quick one off you.
And they have to do that. I mean, you might think that 10-1, you've got the game in the bag, but in CS, you let 4 more rounds slip and suddenly you're at 10-5 and Flash win the pistol. They're straight back into that game, and that, dominant MVP that was up 10-1 is a shadow of the past, but they capitalized straight away. Flash, they've actually got enough for a buy. You got Lovey with the CZ, but that's not the worst thing ever. I mean, watching him at the major qualifier, he's good as your entry player anyway, so... You probably want him up the front lines if you want anyone to have a CZ. And, just a couple of HE nades demolishing a team.
Jeez.
Never even had a chance, Kev.
I know. It's just this Flash game at the moment. It is a bit painful to watch. All spread out, just getting completely demolished at the moment. MVP not giving a single inch of mercy.
Just so much caster bias going on. Just love it. be too much, right?
Well, I mean, I did say that I felt like Flash Gaming have the advantage.
Yeah.
I felt like they had the advantage in this series, in all honesty. I thought the caliber would be a little bit better, but so far just not showing up in Inferno, and I think you just can't afford to not show up on these kinds of maps where Aeon's just going to try and do his best, but Flashbang comes forward. Like, even MVP, they don't go like, all right, we're going to dry peek behind this. You can see the position they're taking. They've got the bomb. You've got one playing anti-flash, one with a flashbang, one watching CT, and one watching Nana behind the smoke grenade. It's like, what are you going to do as Aeon, like, on such low HP? Normally in this position, you're like, all right, CTs are going to over-aggress. They're going to push. They're going to be a bit disrespectful. I've got my chance there.
Straight into the 4 spies, Kev. We've gone off the deep end.
It's 12-1. 2 rounds left. You can't, like, what are you going to do this stage of Flash Gaming? They're going to be trying for anything they can. And honestly, the pistol rounds have come a lot closer most of the time compared to the buy rounds. So I'm not particularly an anti-fan. Glow just pushed through the Molotov. It's just like balcony molly is generally used to stop the CTs from regressing, and Glow just goes, no, I'm just going to take every single fight possible because I can.
A G-nade coming out, does minimal damage to Aeon. Zion's going to throw the smoke straight after it. Gets both of them with the recoil control.
I have no words. This guy, A, is insane, but B, how many times do you see that happening? He's still there. How many times do you see that happening, Peely, where it's like, you've got an apps guy, smokes himself off and goes, all right, I'm going to go for this chance play where I might isolate a one-on-one target. There are 2 Ts there. They got pistol shot, but there are 2 Ts there, and he's just able just to completely demolish both of them like they're nothing. They're like flies, and you're just swatting them away.
Pretty smart, to be honest. Like, the way that he threw the smoke in the right corner, he would have been able to see anybody that was close to him, and he's not going to come out of the smoke at a disadvantage because it's so far to the right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the small things, and then he's just backing up with just insane spray control and just having an amazing game so far. 23 kills. It's the final round of the first half, and MVP already up 13-1. It's even more dominant than the performance from before. Zeph, I don't know what he took damage from. Might have been from a friendly shot from Solo in the leg.
Zeph's 15-6. I don't even remember the camera being on him at any point during this
game. It's because
game.
every single time, right? It's like the fighting is happening at Nana as well as A-side consecutively. Flash Gaming are very good at trying to fight on both sides and just channeling chaos, right? But MVP so far, they're coming up superior. They're winning the aim deals. And already, like, you can see Attacker. Like, he's trying to trade guns out, man. And then Solo just goes, you can't even trade out your gun when you're tagged. It's just, you're just going to get slotted in the head.
Yeah, it's half looking very grim, and I can't say too much for Flash's CT, but I know PK. I mean, I used to say as a meme about PK's Inferno that you're versing them on their CT side. That's the easier one for you. Their T side's way better.
It's so structured the way they're just able to come in and hit everything. And geez, man, the CT side has been, I think in terms of the last few weeks of Counter-Strike, Billy, it has been the roughest because Zion, like, has this guy missed yet? Like, he hasn't, I swear he hasn't missed yet. He's ended the half with 25 kills and 3 deaths.
Doing his best config impression.
Mate, that's not a config impression. We're just calling it a Zion from now on. It's a Zion of victory for MVP.PK. Only 2 rounds away from taking out the first map, and then just a single map away from making it into the APAC finals, where we get to see them down here again, Pilly.
We do.
We might be able to see our idols in MVP.PK. I mean, Flash Gaming is not over just yet. It's, I mean, saying they're in dire docs in Inferno is a bit of an understatement. But you've got 2 maps
to go. Yeah.
You've got some more maps to go, you know, and this is where you just go, all right, that was shocking. We'll probably a few words exchanged over TeamSpeak or whatever they use. There'll probably be a couple of angry words passed, a couple of comments. We got to shapen up, guys. Like, this is not good enough.
I think the worst sign is like the misbuying and just the commitment to the economic.
Worst sign? Sign hasn't been the worst.
No. He definitely hasn't.
I stopped. You're making the strongest point, and I'm like, I have to slip a pun in here.
That's just one of the things that I hate. You know, whenever you're sitting in spawn and you've got one of those weird money situations, and your teammate just goes, "I've got 4.7k. That's enough for a full kit. I'm buying." And then, you know, the rest of you have 3k.
That's some of the frustration seeping in as well. It's very difficult to. Oh my goodness, they just dry peek and Lovey. He's not loving it at the moment. I mean, Summer trying to find a headshot, but just missing everything, man.
This is the same guy. It's the same guy playing on Summer's computer right now that I saw at the major.
This is MVP. It's like it's not like Flash Gaming didn't have opportunities in that round.
Zeph's just deleting them.
There was no opportunity for Aeon, right? Like, you're peeking there and Zeph's just blasting you, like half of MVP is blasting you.
Well, they lost the pistol, but there's always another pistol round.
The true pistol round with the CZs and whatnot. And
we didn't even get a full armor that round. How was that fair?
Attacker. I was about to say, Mike, that's actually very confident saving for the AWP in this scenario. Like normally we go, look, it is a bad situation to be in, but you do need the money up.
Solo's convinced all the boys. Bro's got a Galil.
Ooh, it's a very small highlight in a very grim match so far for Flash Gaming, but Ullman will take that. He's been the one who...
Credit where credit's due, Kev. You're down 15-1. If there's a way to start yourself back into it, that's the way you got to begin.
You got to start with a flick of the wrist, and that was a tiny flick of the wrist, I would say. A very tiny one, but...
Maybe it's really low sensitivity. Maybe that took his whole mouse back. You never know.
Maybe, you never know. Maybe we'll have to go afterwards and take a look at the sensitivity. That might be a thing, actually, because that was a sharp shot. But there's a Galil and the MAC-10 coming out supreme, so...
The execute going absolutely perfectly here. Zion's got a re-smoke. Solo's got a flashbang. They've got a bunch of MAC-10s, so they can't really play the solo... Sorry, not the solo, the normal post-plants.
Yeah, it's Song completely back in the favour of MVP, as you'd expect for the odds. And at this stage, 15-1. I'd say... I mean, the series is not over yet, but if you'd be pretty confident for MVP taking out the series right now. They're pretty far ahead. The CZs might actually get things done because they've actually found 2 kills so far. 2 of them in Nana. 1 of them just shoulder peeking right now. Summer's pushing closer, but Solo and Zion, the 2 that are just doing so much damage. And there it is. Solo's going to clean up with a MAC-10. Zion also finds 1 more to add to the ridiculous kill count. 27 kills.
Didn't even 30.
And I think this is the story, right? Flash Gaming, not even a single member in double digits.
Didn't even 30 bomb.
We can talk about how it is very much a team game. You maybe need 1 person stepping up. That was unfortunately just not good enough from Flash Gaming. That's probably an understatement.
They they look completely lost. Their entire T side. They didn't have a single sort of execute to go to. The only rounds that went well for them was MVP.PK players being out of position when they walked up the map control. Grab some popcorn, boys, and watch this MVP.PK highlight reel.
I mean, there's very, very few talking points. I mean, early on started off quite well. Flash Gaming doing a lot of damage on the pistols. I'm like, keeping the MVP economy honest, and it's looking good for them. But round after round, slowly started bleeding away on the buy rounds. It was always a clean shot from MVP.PK, and eventually there was just going to be a time. And I think this sums it up.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the smoke for even a second there.
Yeah, I mean, Zion just playing absolutely phenomenally. I mean, all of MVP really just stepping up. You got Zeph and Solo on the B bomb site. You had Zion as well as Glow and HSK. A bit of a quiet cameo, but you don't really need to have a massive superstar showing when your other guys are just dropping, 27 kills in a 17-round game, getting 20 kills as well.
Around,
exactly. So, I mean, HSK is more than happy. He's got a smile on his face, just holding a line, just going, man, my team's doing so well at the moment. I don't need to perform at this particular point. I'm going to come in the next game. Maybe Zion's going to fall off a little bit. Zeph might fall off a little bit, but I'm going to then show exactly what I have. But for Flash Gaming, there's not many positives to talk about. There's just so much, I guess, self-rumination that they have to do coming into this next map. Now down 1-0 in the series, and not just like a close-fought map, 16-1.
Yeah, absolutely dominated. I mean, like you said about HSK, he's got, free pickings for the rest of this series. The only AWPer that can sort of even hold a candle to him is Fancy in some positions. So it should be pretty much free pickings for him, peeking into rifles, etc. So we'll get to see what happens in the next map. Hopefully a bit closer of a 1, but still backing my boys PK for the 2-0.
Hopefully so. Well, MVP.PK close out map number 1 in a dominating fashion. Will Flash Gaming be able to respond to the second map? I'll have to find out just after the break.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out.